Hey guys, what's up? What's up? I hope everybody's doing okay. It is Saturday. It is 10:16 a.m. and I've been sitting here patiently waiting for somebody to go live. And it hasn't happened yet, so I'm gonna go live for a little while anyway. Um, so what's on my spindle right now is some thin sheep for my 2022 Maryland sheep and wool trip, and I've been spinning it on my drop spindles. Um, Trying to see where I put the other one in. It's around here somewhere. But it spins very nicely. The color is a little more cinnamon than it is. It's a little, just a tad bit darker than that. Yeah, that's more like the down that end. It's more like the color. But this is my new spindle from 3G Woodworks on Etsy. This is my alpaca spindle, and their spindles. He has a deeper notch now than what he used to put onto the spindles. And most of his spindles, my early spindles, they don't even have a notch. Um, so he takes like if you make suggestions, he will try 'em. But as you can see, it spins very well. It spins for a long time, and they're very well balanced spindles. Sometimes you look at it, you be like, you know, look like it. But the way they put them together and they test them, they make sure that they're balanced. So that's why I'm always a repeat customer to his for his spindles. I've never been disappointed. His spindles and Jim's turnstiles, they are my go to for drop spindles. I'm not. I like the beauty of Turkish drop spindles, and if I ever wanted to get a Turkish drop spindle for teaching people how to use them and stuff like that, then I will get my Turkish spindles for Snyder spindles. Um, but other than that, um, I prefer I prefer 3G Woodworks drop spindles. Now I do have um, a Jonathan Bosworth spindle um, somewhere in here. I bought it this year from Maryland Sheep and Wool. That was my splurge, although it was very affordable, but that was my splurge. And this is my CD drop spindle, which spins very well. And what is this hooked on to? And this is my oldest spindle, which was a gift from my friend Fiberchrome. And I don't know how long she had it before she gave it to me, but this is a very nice drop spindle. And like I say, I like the spindles that have the longer shafts on them. Um, Maybe it's hanging up over there. I don't know where I put it. I have a spindle Kate hanging on the door. It might be in there, but then we have some of these smaller ones that he makes that he sent as thank yous and gifts. Um, I do refer people to him. My friend Barb, she got some drop spindles from him. And this is another one that they do with resin. Got pine cone inlaid inside of it. But this is one of my Jim's turnstile drop spindles. One day I guess I'll just do a video Good morning, Kim. How are you? Did you cast on your slipper? And I think I have 2 or 3 stone whorl spindles. And those were from Silly Salmon over off of Etsy. And that's pretty much the ones that's like right here. It's like this. This is all the ones that's right by my desk. These are just the ones that I'm working on currently, putting samples of fiber on and stuff. The I have 2, 3 cups up top that have spindles in them, and then I also have my spindles that's hanging on the door. Yeah, so I have a lot of drop spindles, a lot of drop spindles. Yes, I, and then plus I make drop spindles for myself too. So, this is one that I made, and then this is another one that I made from appliques that I got from AC Moore before they went out of business. But I found these online as well, so I got some extra ones because I want to paint these. Um, I got to get some more acrylic paint because my daughter, I had combined my acrylic paints with my daughter, and then she wanted the acrylic paints for something, and then they moved, and she took them with her. So I do. I love drop spindles. I'm gonna get the. I'm gonna get the. Hold up, I'll show y'all. I can't. I can't reach the other ones. My husband has to get them down. I'm too short. They're on top of the bookcase. So this is my spindle cozy, which is also from Jim's Turnstile. So if you are applying from your spindles, you just put them inside of here. You see it sticks out the side. There's a tension string on this side that you can put around it to keep them from popping out. And then you can adjust your tension string down here at the bottom. You can adjust the string and tighten it so that your spindles don't pop out while you're applying from them. And then you also have these screws over here that you can, if you need to, you can wrap this around it to give you a little bit more tension to tighten it up as well. So you can wrap it around like that. And then you take this, it's just like the fastener off of a coat, like a drawstring. And you just take it, squeeze it, and pull it up. Tighten this down as much as you need to. And that'll keep these from popping out while you're applying. So these are dusty. I need to clean them. But these are all Jim's Turnstile drop spindles. I love his spindles. They are just absolutely. These are dusty, so forgive me. They're very beautiful. These are what I call the roulette wheel ones. They are just a dream. A dream. The walnut shafts, and then the different woods he used: maple, walnut, pecan. He also does some dyeing with the wood, and they're just absolutely dreams to spin on. So when I go to Maryland Sheep and Wool every year, like last year when I went, he wasn't there. They might have stayed away because of COVID, not wanting to risk getting COVID. I don't know, but like this one is walnut, and he usually uses 2 different woods, one on the top and one on the bottom. But usually this time of the year, I'm doing a Good morning, Shatika. Usually this time of the year, I do a spinning where I'm just spinning on my spindles, and I fill up all of my drop spindles. Let me see. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 11 drop spindles right here Um, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I'm just gonna guesstimate and say I have about 55 to 60 drop spillers. That's just a guesstimate. Yeah, so when my husband gets home, I'm gonna have him take the other ones down for me. And then like later on today I'll probably get on and I'll do like a drop. I'll clean my drop spindles and I'll show all my drop spindles to y'all. Oh, you mean the swirl? That is the swirl. That is from just also that's from Jim's Turnstiles. Uh, there was a British spindle maker that I used to get spindles from. Um, what's the name that company? And I have one that is a yin and yang drop spindle from them. Here, I'll get it short. The swirl one. Talking about this one. Let me see. So they're just his spindles are just so beautifully made. Um, his wife is a spinner. It's gonna wobble because I gotta adjust the. You could adjust your hook if you need to. If it's like gotten there we go. If it's gotten out of alignment, they're not in there, so you could like bend it just a little bit. What I do when I adjust the alignment on my hooks is I kind of hold it up and I close one eye, just like when I draw. If you're trying to see something in a different way when you're drawing, like to see the shadows and the depth of the different perspectives. Sometimes you close one eye and you look, it'll help you determine that. So I just look at it and see if it's leaning to the left, leaning to the right, and then I'll just slightly um, bend it so that it is sitting straight up. Like this one just needs to go just a teeny bit to the left. And I also have, if I need to, if it's one that it's a thicker, um, if it's a thicker wire, then I have round needle nose pliers like jewelry makers use. Who don't need marks on anything. I have those too, so I can adjust the hooks that way as well. Like this hook, it doesn't have a it doesn't have a deep bend on it. So if my yarn was popping off of it, I would take and bend this down some more so that the yarn catches better. Jim's Turnstiles. I will see if I can find one of his business cards and I'll give you the information on the business card. He doesn't have a website. He mostly shows up at fiber events. Maryland Sheep and Wool is the main one that he shows up at. I'm trying to think of where I will have his business card at, so I can share it with you. And, I used to have a stack of business cards with a scrunchie on them. I'm trying to think of where it might be. Yeah. also have some, like I had got um some business card slips, and I might have put stuff in there. I have to figure out where I put stuff. But yeah, so I found some people who have this yarn in their stashes on Ravelry, but it's not for sale. And I was like, man. So since I made this kind of big, I could cannibalize this one as well as cannibalize his scarf so that I can. But I made these for him to wear them on the outside of his gloves, like when he's outside shoveling snow and stuff, when we do get snow, so that he could wear them on the outside of his gloves just to give him some added warmth. So that's why I made them so big. So um but this is the scarf that I made that matches his gloves. And I'm just going to cannibalize the scarf. I figure I need about to right here to make so that's about uh, seven, no, that's about 12, 13 inches of the scarf, if that. Where's my ruler? And so if I unravel the scarf and take that much, because it's crochet, so it's easy, just unravel it and take what I need and then just tie it back off. So that's, yeah, 12 and a half inches. So I was close. So that's 12 and a half inches. It's Studio by Nicole. It was from AC Moore. They're not in business anymore. Well, they're not in business with AC Moore because Michael bought AC Moore out. So that's why I'm having so much trouble. Oh, you mean Jim Turnstiles? Yeah. You can track it down from the old Maryland Sheep and Wool vendor list. Yeah. And I do have some old Maryland Sheep and Wool books around here somewhere. I can look in there and see if I can find any information. The business card might actually be in the book for Maryland Sheep and Wool. I might have tucked it in there, but I'll try and find it for you. Yeah. So I found this is the this is the end that I finished off the scarf in. So I gotta find the end, or I can just cut it because I can feel where I did the slip knot right here. So I know it's gonna go down because I usually weave in like going like a a W formation until I find that end. And it's tucked in there good because this stuff is tweedy. So yeah, and I might have put a drop of. I've been feeling around for it, but I don't feel it, so I probably didn't. But sometimes I put a drop of that fusion fabric glue on my ends to make sure they don't pop out. But yeah, it has come to that where I have to cannibalize. Yeah, that's it. I think. Yep, that's the end. So that's what I'm doing today. And so my next project is this because I'm waiting for some yarn. Um, People always order stuff in colors you don't have. I never understood that. How do they know what's in your stash? Well, you can tell what's in my stash, but you can't really tell the true colors. But um, this is a kit that I got from Mary Maxim a couple years ago. And so since I've been on this fingerless glove kick, I decided to go ahead and do these. So I started them last night. So this is where I'm at right now. I'm at this portion right here. These little lines are going across. That's the part I'm at right now. So I'm on the second row of these. So I think I have to do, excuse me, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, So it's like 7 or 8 rows right here I have to do before it starts the flower pattern. Aren't they pretty? This part makes me think about baseball. So I'm probably gonna give them to my husband because I'm making a large. Um, so it makes me think about the pinstripes and baseball, the baseball uniform. So he's a Yankee. He's from New York, so he's a Yankees fan. But then it's gonna have this pretty flower, but it's not like a real feminine flower. And then with the stripes down there, it kind of makes it to me. It makes it look a little more masculine. And the thumbs are done as an afterthought. I mean, I'm thinking about doing a thumb gusset, which if I leave it open down here to up here, then I can still do a thumb gusset along there and then take the thumb out that way. So, but it's going to be one of those projects where you put it down, pick it up, put it down, pick it up. So, yeah, I need to find something to pick this apart with. And here is my coffee. Knitting is a post-apocalyptic life skill. For my coffee area, I have to get me some more creamer and sugar because my daughter and my son they use my coffee area too for their tea. So when it was just me using the creamer and sugar, it lasts for months and months and months. But with all three of us dipping into it, it's like every other month I gotta re fill up my canisters and stuff. So I'm trying to find this end. There it is. I think that's it. Yeah. I can just find you. It's going over this way somewhere. I don't want to have to cut it, but it might come to that just to get it loose because, like I said, I could have used some glue on it. You got a yarn bow that says that? Oh, this was my daughter. She does pottery too, and so she had messed up on this bowl, and then it cracked. So that's why I got tape on it. But she was trying to make it look like a wooden bowl on the inside. So I have several yarn bowls. This is I have one. I have a couple with alpacas on them. Some of them are wrapped up still down under there that I got from my friend when she closed her mill. She gave them to me. So they're like my treasured items. Hey, Sunita, how are you this morning? Did you mail me your hands yet? You see, I just finished my son's. So while I'm in that mood, you better hurry up and send me your hand. So yeah. That was the same. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to find the end of this yarn so that I can unravel this. I'm trying not to have to cut it, but it might come to that. Sometimes if it was a long end and I'm bored or I'm just zoned out, I'll actually weave in that whole long end. And if that's the case, I'm going to have to cut it. I'm going to have to take my glasses off so I can, fine vision. Since I can't seem to find anybody on Ravelry that wants to sell their stash, their yarn in this colorway, and it's not made anymore. So I'm just gonna have to unravel this scarf. Where is it going? There it goes. Oh yeah, it's way down in there. It's pulling from way down here. So I found it though. Look at that. But we got it. We have the end. Just hope that we can get the slip knot to come loose. But at least I know where the end is at. So if I do have to cut it, because it looks like I split yarn, weaving it in, I split the yarn. Okay. All right. So we're at the slip knot now. And there we go. Let the cannibalism begin, hopefully. Because of these tweety bits, it might be a little rough going. And this scarf is a couple of years old, and it's been washed a couple of times. But time to cannibalize her. So I figure, yeah, about 12 and a half, 13 inches. And then I'll just take in, hey Maritza, how are you this morning? Let me tell you, I worked on that king size blanket last night. That thing is warm. But just to get around twice on that blanket took up one skein of yarn. So I'm on the second skein of a 3-pack from Premier Yarns. And so since it's gonna be even bigger this time, it'll probably take one skein plus part of the other skein to get around twice. But it's back there, that blanket. So I got to order another 3-pack of that yarn from Premier. Probably order a 6-pack from them so that I can finish that blanket. Almost wish I had gone back and forth on it and just did the one color and not have gotten any not have decided to put a border on it. I would have been done with it by now. Good morning, Spring. You got us in your pocket? Are you out? out and about doing farmy stuff, living my dream. Spring, living my dream. I should have put a stitch mark in here so I would know when to stop. Hold on. There we go. So I'll put a stitch marker in there so I'll know when to stop frogging. But yeah. Good morning, Granny D. How are you this fine, fine Navy day? The sun is shining in Virginia for now. So what I'm doing is I am frogging my husband's part of my husband's scarf. I'm cannibalizing part of his scarf to get enough yarn to make him a matching glove, a matching mitten. And if I have enough, I'm gonna put a string on these so when he wears them like a little kid, so he can't lose it. But yeah, so we're frogging this morning. We're partially frogging his scarf. He's 6'2.5", 6'3", taller than me. So his scarves are usually pretty long to begin with because he likes to wear his scarves like this. He likes to take them and make a loop and take them around his neck and then tuck it through like that. And so that's how he likes to wear his scarves. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and make it into a cowl since it's going to be so much shorter now. It's going to be 12.5 to 13 inches shorter than what it was. So I'm just going to sew the ends together and make a cowl. And he can just double it up around his neck that way. But he'll have two gloves again. But yeah, this was that Earth Tones yarn that Studio by Nicole came out with right before Michaels bought them out. And the colorway was Merlot. We're getting there. I'm so glad this is acrylic because if this had been wool, I will not be able to get this apart. Yes, they had that mustard. They had this Merlot, and they had a navy blue, and then they had this real pretty like buff, uh, like that red heart and that buff colorway. But but it had the tweed bits in it. It was real pretty, real pretty. That was like, and they couldn't keep it in stock. It was selling so fast. That's why people were like shocked that they were like, I don't understand why Michael didn't just keep them open, like keep the AC Moores open. Y'all can understand shutting down the competition, but you bought them out lock, stock, and barrel. So they were your company to run too. You could have just made them into more Michaels and kept the Studio by Nicole. You would have had two. You would have had a Loops and Thread, and you would have had the Studio by Nicole. So I mean, this yarn, the Studio by Nicole yarn was awesome yarn. Awesome yarn. I think I have. I don't know. I think I might have some of this in the blue. I don't. I don't think I've used it all. But I save this and only use it for stuff that's gonna be in the family. All right. So we are at the end of the 13 inches, and I don't know if that's gonna be enough. So let me get a little bit more since I'm sewing this together anyway. It's always better to have more than less, right? Plus, I got to have enough left to sew this to itself. So I'm gonna get some more. If I have a little left over, I'll put it in a granny square or a scrap blanket or something that's gonna stay in the house. So it's sad that it has come down to this, but when you're using vintage yarn, sometimes you gotta take drastic measures to do stuff. And, and me giving him the look because he's lost a sock. And I don't have any more of that yarn because they only did a short run with that yarn at the fiber mill to start with. And I had bought a sport weight of that colorway, and I had bought two skeins of a it was kind of in between sport and light worsted, and I used that to make him some bed socks. And he's lost one of the socks. I'm like, how can you lose a whole sock when you don't even wear them that often? So I don't know if he took. I don't know where the sock is. I've looked everywhere for that sock. And so he also had fingerless gloves to that I made with the leftovers from that yarn. And I'm pretty sure he had those gloves on with these gloves when he lost them because one of those gloves is missing too. So I have another sock that I can't make. I don't want to frog that sock because I'm like, as soon as I frog that sock, he'll find the other one or it'll show back up. I'm having my daughter look and see if they have any mixed match socks when they moved out. I'm gonna have her look through their stuff and hopefully they haven't said, well, we don't have a match to this sock. Let's toss it. Hopefully they can tell the difference between handmade socks and store-bought socks. All right, so I'm gonna that should be enough to sew that up. So I'm gonna cut that. Let me make sure I'm cutting the right side. Yeah. These are my mom's old nursing scissors. These scissors are almost as old as me. Um, she gave them to me when I became a hospital corpsman. Um, and these are like one of my most treasured items. Like when we did military moves and stuff, I always made sure that these were in my my bag that was in the car with me. I didn't trust these to be moved by nobody. And the way stuff was always being stolen, like we lost a bunch of our gaming systems and games, um, because miraculously that box didn't make it to California. That only and then our dressers and stuff was broken. Like these dressers, we had those dressers since God, like 19. Putin was born in 88, so one of those dressers was from 88, and these were like those real heavy solid pine dressers that went with the bunk bed sets. Those dressers, those things, you would have to have a bomb go off to damage those dressers. One of those was broken. Like the wood was like it looks like somebody took a forklift to it, broken. So here is my yarn, and I'm going to see if I have notes on these, like what size needles I use. Judging by the stitches, I'm thinking I'll use something larger than probably a 8. I use a larger needle judging by the size of these stitches. And the bottom is in a 1x1, and it's kind of loose, so I might have used a 10. Well, we'll figure it out. We'll do some swatches of 1x1 until I get one that matches this bottom part, and then I know what needles to use. Unless I have notes. If I have notes, then that'll work too. And if there's notes, it's gonna be in here. Just want to tell y'all, get your little knitting notebook or crochet notebook, and just jot down little things. But there might not be notes in here on this, but we're gonna look and see. See, I have some that I made for my friend Artie I made these probably going on 10 years, if not longer. I have notes on those in here, so hopefully I got notes on these in there. Mm-mm-mm. I got some from juniors. They were size 6 DPNs. Okay. Dale socks. Huh. That was in 2016. Mm. We had movies a few times. One time the guys were amazing. They were so sweet and played with the cat back and forth when they finished the room, wrapped everything with here. Then I had some that I wanted to slap. They broke things, tracked in mud, etc. I cooked for the nice ones and tipped them well. The others shaking my head. They were jerks. Both times they were paid by Circuit City, so I did not have much control. Ah. Good morning, Miss Glow. Yeah, and type the word purple to share out y'all's channels in Kelman's fingerless gloves, putting his fingerless gloves. So I had given some of my hand spun. It was some alpaca with it was just from a sample that I had. And I had given it to a knitting friend named Kendall. And she was trying to make socks with it. It was not enough. It was not enough to make socks with. So let's see if I have it. Yeah. So we were at a knitting meeting. The group is called Yarn for Breakfast, and this is some Icelandic wool from Forest Greener on not Etsy. What's it called? eBay. And this was a Canadian guy that I used to get wool from because I just loved the colors. And so these together, as you can see, I don't know if you can see the sparkle in that. So, and this was spindle spun too. So I had given that to her, and she kept trying to make socks with it. Now, Kendall is a petite individual. Her hand, my hand, can make two of hers. That's how petite, how fine bone she is. This sock, Bigfoot would have had room in. And I was like, Kendall, you do not have enough yarn for two socks, much less that yarn. Like this thing was like almost gone, and she had this. It would have been a Christmas stocking. That's what it looked like. So I took it from her, and I frogged it right in front of her face. I frogged it, and I said, "I will make you fingerless gloves with this yarn, but I can't take it no more." I took it back, but I made her some really nice fingerless gloves, and gave to her. I said, and I gave her some sock yarn. I said, use this yarn to make your socks. Let me see. But yes, that's the only time I have ever taken back my hand spun I gave somebody. And I think I gotta find it. I think that was in let me see if I can find it. Um, that's why I wish they would let this like you could pick the year. I make so much stuff. It's ridiculous. And I saw this blanket. uh, I saw that blanket in down there in the bottom row middle. I saw that blanket the other day when we went to my daughter's house. She was like, "Do you remember this?" I said, "Yeah, I made that so she would have her big girl blanket for when she's in her own room. She would have a twin size blanket that she could put on her own bed when she's old enough." I made one for her, and I made one for Antoine, and now I got to make one for Chunk Chunk. And Luna's lost one of her mittens, so she needs new mittens too. What am I supposed to be looking for? Oh, Kendall's mittens. It's gonna be a while, but yeah. Yes, Icelandic wool is very warm, very very warm, and it softens. It softens with age. I mean, this is very cushy as it is, because you know they're a dual coated breed, so they dehair to separate the weft. What is it called? Is it weft from the thale from the, something like that? But they separate the fibers out. What? No, that ain't it. Yep, yep, yep. She's had several pairs. She's already had two pairs of gloves. Maybe her mama need to look for her stuff. Da, da, da. And yeah, and it's time for another dye day as well. Me and my husband do a dye day. Mm. And it was before COVID. Da, da. Before Luna. God, I make a lot of stuff. Oh. So what are y'all working on right now? I need to keep drinking my coffee before it gets too cold. The only iced coffee that I like is actually for 7-Eleven. Ain't that crazy? So what I'm doing is I'm trying to find some fingerless gloves I made to show y'all. And it's taking a while. And, okay, here we go. I don't think I did the finished ones, but I got a picture of the gloves. So I was doing broken seed stitch, but I did her fingerless gloves using this blue yarn and that, and yeah, they turn out very nicely. I don't think I have a picture of the finished ones. It's one of those projects where you just want to finish it and give it to the person and be done with it. Oh, I forgot about this thing. I mean, look. Hmm. Yeah, I don't have a picture of it, of the finished ones after I gave them to her. So my friend lost her grandma recently, and that was a lap blanket that I had made for her granny, and she said her granny loved it, and she put it in the casket with her. She said that's how much she loved that blanket. She says I wanted her to have it, so she put it in the casket with her. She said my nana loved that blanket. So Granny D, yes you do. You need to make some fingerless gloves. This isn't gonna be fingerless gloves. These are gonna be mittens. But I started these yesterday or last night, and but yeah, everybody needs to start some fingerless gloves. Mm-mm. So I don't think I have notes on his fingerless gloves. This one I did the goat. Hmm. I didn't. I'm pretty sure this is the page, but I didn't. Here it is. Haha. US 6 needles, cast on 44 stitches. And I said Studio Stitch by Nicole, number 48, colorway Earth Tone Merlot. So right there. That's why we take notes, y'all. So now I can make a matching glove for that right there. So I'm gonna put a bend in the page and the ribbing. What does it say? Yeah, I can just hold it up for the ribbon. This is an inch. Alrighty. So we are ready to go on that glove. Cool beans. You have? Did you bring back a lot of yarn? Do you need a whole nother suitcase, Granny D? Just to bring back the yarn? I want to go visit the 26% over in Scotland. Tell my husband I might not come back. And I can't find my bag of stitch markers either. It's like, where did they go? Like I got a whole bag of these somewhere, and I can't find them. Make me some breakfast while you at it, lady. After I sew this together, I gotta go down and start cutting up that venison. Um, the stew, it is just so tasty and it's so good with all those carrots and celery, potatoes in it, and barley, and it's just such a wonderful flavor. So hey, free meat, so don't have to buy no meat. Just go down there and cut it up and sear it in the cast iron skillet, and and then put it on the boil. Let it boil slow so that it won't get tough. It'll stay tender and juicy. And by the end of the day, you got a big old pot of stew for your family to enjoy. What? Oh man, Granny D, the opportunity. You gotta plan another trip now. You gotta go back. You gotta go back for all that yarn you left. Oh my goodness. I didn't know much about local yarn shops when I was in the Navy. Cause I wanted some yarn to make a baby blanket or something for somebody. I would just, go to a big box store and get some acrylic and make them baby stuff. Um, I didn't get into bougie yarn until after I moved up here to Virginia and started going to Maryland Sheep and Wool and going to yarn groups and stuff like that. And then I learned to spin, so I have even more the bougiest of bougie yarns because I can spin it myself and I can blend it myself on my drum carder or my hand cards, so I can have even bougier yarns if I wanted to. So, but for me, it's the spinning process. It's just the process of spinning. It's not using the yarn and stuff. Um, I don't know. I just rather spin. If I could just spin all day long, that would be fine too. But if I did that, people wouldn't get fingers gloves. They wouldn't get baby stuff. They wouldn't get scarves and stuff like that for inclement weather. They wouldn't get. My husband, he's the only one that I've made socks for besides myself. Other than like baby booties and stuff for the kids. But Chunk, I gotta make her big girl blanket. That way, you tomorrow ain't promised to nobody. So I need to get started on that for her. Yes, I'm still spinning. I spin all the time. Yes, ma'am. I still got to finish plying. I've been freeing up my bobbins. I still got about 7 or 8 bobbins I got to free up, and then I also got my drop spindles I've been spinning on. Like yeah, I was showing Kim this drop spindle today. Maybe I should have a drop spindle of the day episode. Uh, the St. Austell local yarn shops are crap. Crap is in crappy yarn or the prices. Ah, support spindles. I have one support spindle. Or did I give it away? I think I gave it away. I just like I just didn't like just sitting there with the bowl in my lap. Granted, you could spin some very, very, very fine yarns using the support spindle technique, but it just wasn't for me. And that's why I tell people, you find out what works for you, what you enjoy, what you like, what's good for you, for your abilities or your disability. Some people can't do suspended spinning, drop from the top wall or bottom wall or turkey spindle. And so the support spindles and there's the other whirligig type spindle um, that you have options, um, to find something that works for you that you enjoy. And I tell people that all the time. You have to find out what works for you, and so that means experimentation. Really? So they have like what's this? The King Code, like King Code, Riot, and all those King Code colors, and the James C. Brett, and all that stuff. They don't say they're crap. They're still providing a service for the people who like yarn. Just because it's not wool doesn't mean it's crap. There's a place for everything. Yes, Tibetan support spindle style. I think that's where that came from. Either that or it came from the Scottish having like this, what is it called, a sporin belt for knitting. Put their knitting needles and stuff in. Spores. It starts with an S. Spore. I can't probably. I'm not saying it right. I was thinking about buying one of those Scottish style spindles. They look like almost like a primitive bobbin, but you do a half hitch at the top of it, I guess you it's kind of weird looking. I wanted one just to have one for my collection, so I'm thinking about trying to get one. I think Spanish Peacock was making them at one time. I don't even know if they're still in business. I haven't seen them in a while either. All right, so we've sewn this up. He'll never know the difference. He'll just think it always has been a cow style scarf. Seriously, he won't even know. He has he had like 7 or 8 scarves. My daughter Marissa likes borrowing his scarves, borrowing his because I made my husband and his brother matching scarves with that loops and thread when it came out about 8 years ago. That felt looking yarn that they had at Michael's. And I made him, my husband, and his brother matching scarves. And my daughter, she's always stealing it back from him. Alrighty, and there we go. All done. All done. The cannibalism is over. So now he has a circular scarf instead of his old scarf. But he can still double it up around his neck. He might not get this back. is acrylic is great for people who are not wool worthy. Because you don't have to worry about them ruining all the hours you put into a project by throwing it in the wash machine and dryer. So this is done. So I'm gonna slip this back in his drawer and go find me some breakfast. The diabetic needs to eat before she starts getting the shakes. And I will see y'all later. Whoever's gonna come on needs to go ahead and come on so I can be listening to y'all while I start these fingers gloves. So y'all take care. Thank everybody for stopping by. My stomach is growling. So I gotta go find me some breakfast. Y'all take care.